Alright YouTube, it's been far too long since I've done a video. Pyro Ned here, and we've got some exciting topics to cover today. Let's see. I got my endorsement by taking the Indiana ABATE MSF course. I had my first lowside, which was completely my fault. And I have the new Sena 20S wired up. So we'll start with my endorsement. It was kind of a bucket list item to get my motorcycle endorsement. And green light. And I figured, why not just take a class so I can learn how to handle motorcycles better and use their bike to take the test rather than just outright take the test. So I signed up for the Indiana ABATE MSF course out of Fort Wayne. They were booked 3 months in advance, so I couldn't get in until the middle of summer. But the course was a lot of fun. It was one night and 2 full days. The first night was all bookwork, where you kind of introduce yourself and talk to other riders, and we went around the room and you asked everybody kind of what you want to get out of the course, and a lot of people were, well, I just want to get my endorsement. And he challenged us. He said, well, what you want today, let's compare it to what you want when you're, or what you got out of it when you're done. But the first night, it was 5 to 10 p.m. and we did bookwork, but it wasn't too bad because he broke us up into groups. So each group took a chapter, each group took a handful of pages, and then when your group was called on, you kind of highlighted all the key points of the chapter your group was assigned. And we learned really quickly that if you want to get out of here quickly, you read and you talk loud. Because the first time it came around, everyone was kind of, well, this is my chapter, and he's like, okay, let's just stop there. If you guys want to get out of here, we're going to need some participation. So after that, things went swimmingly. Everyone, don't even think about it. Everybody just slammed through all the chapters, and we were out of there probably 10-2. The next day, there were 2 classes. There was an early class and a late class. I was lucky enough to get the late class. And we showed up, and we did, half the day was riding, and the other half of the day was bookwork, and that was the day that we took our written test. So the riding was pretty cool to watch, because I was familiar with a motorcycle. I rode to class every day. But there were people there who had never ridden a bike before. So you start off walking these little, I think they were 125s, across the parking lot, and then on the way back you let the clutch out a little bit and just kind of power walk the bike. Then you rode across, and then he got us all doing this big loop in first gear. And then we went up, I think it was into second gear, and we just kind of cruised around. Then they set up a bunch of different stop, start, swerve drills, just kind of getting everyone familiar with how motorcycles handle. And these little 125s, I rode an R6 class, and then riding the 125s around, they were like little scooters. But I will say it was amazing to see someone, I think there were a couple older individuals in the class that had never ridden a bike, and they started off pretty rough, just like everyone does when they're first manual. But by the end of the day, they were stop, start, swerving, riding around, shifting. And for just an afternoon on a bike with some really experienced instructors, it was great. Well, then we took, it was, the second half of the class was all written and reading. And after which we took the test, which they did a great job preparing you for the test. Everyone passed. I got 100%. But other than that, that was the end of day 2. And then day 3 was your riding exam. So it was a short day, and you just showed up, and we practiced all of the drills that were going to be on the test in one by one, and then he set up a course where you could get in line and just do specific drills you wanted to practice. So the figure 8 was there, and everyone's worried about the figure 8, but on a little 125 it was really easy. I got to the point where I could use maybe 60% of the box to do the figure 8. But then we lined up and we took the test. I was honored enough to lead the class through the test. That was a little ego booster. And there's probably gonna be someone who tries to get over here. But the only point I got off on the test was because I went too slow through the curves. There's one exercise where you have to do like a sweeping curve in a certain amount of time. Well, in practice, our coaches, that's what they call themselves, one of them told me, he's like, look, you got this bike on the ragged edge, you need to slow it down. And of course, it was just you doing the drill, so you were putting yourself and their bike at risk. But he told me to slow down, and then on the final test, that's what I get points off on, is for going too slow. Oops, the imaginary extra gear. But then yay, you get your, you get a little card. And then I went to the BMV and got my endorsement. Check that off the bucket list. The next thing, a few days later, I was riding around, you know, confident, led my class through the test, thought I was an expert rider. I think we all have that little moment. There's a certain turn that there's never anyone there, and if you time the lights right, it's like almost a hairpin left turn. And I'd consistently been taking it faster and faster until this one night I just took it a little too fast, and I was down on my butt. I was going about 20, 25. It wore through my jeans like nothing, so I had a little road rash on my knee because I don't have riding pants, but my jacket and everything else, if I had riding pants on, I wouldn't have had a scratch. I bent the clutch lever on my bike. He's not gonna wave at all. I bent the clutch lever on my bike and managed to get it home. Other than my ego taking a punishment, I was in one piece. After that, I've been significantly more cautious with pushing my limits because I don't want to have to do that again. So that about sums that up. And then the next thing was oh, he's turning, lovely. And then the next thing was the Sena 20S, which a buddy that I just met who has a beautiful red FZ6 told me about it. He's found a combo deal where you get 2 units and you save like $50 as if you're to buy them one by one or something like that. But so I got the Sena, and first of all, we tested out the range. We set up the intercom feature, which was really easy. And then we found a straight, well, not really straight, but hilly straight road, just to see how far apart you can get and still have the intercom working. And the range is unbelievable. We started breaking up. His headlight looked like a flashlight in my rearview mirror. And at that point, you're not even riding together. And supposedly, if you have a group ride, the signal kind of bounces off each headset. So even if you had a trail of bikes more than a mile long, you could still talk to each other. You could talk to the lead rider from the back of the pack. So range, I give it a 10 out of 10. The device comes with 2 in-ear speakers. And I think I'm being paged. So it comes over my headset whenever I get a text message. So I'm gonna have to pull off up here and see what's going on. But that does not look comfortable. Anyway, so the speakers are little in-ear speakers, and they provide good sound quality. If you're in town, you have your visor down. But I find on the expressway, the audio breaks up. You have to turn it up, and it gets pretty distorted. I like to listen to rock when I'm riding, and I found that the audio gets kind of distorted when you have the volume all the way up, which is to be expected. The speakers are really thin. But Sena remedies that by allowing you to plug in your headphones to the unit, which I like because my headphones are in-ear, and they act as earplugs and let me hear everything that's going on. So I can't really knock them for audio quality because they're small speakers. They do a great job around town, and they give you the option if you want to expand that to a third-party device. And then one of the features that I haven't gotten to use too much, they call it's ambient noise amplifier. So when you pull up at a light and you want to talk to someone that doesn't have the intercom on, you can hit the button on the bottom of the headset, which is easy to do, and it'll amplify the noise around you. Oh, forget that. It amplifies the noise around you, so you don't have to take your helmet off to talk to other people or lift your visor. I've had mixed results in what I've used. The person next to you really has to be talking loud. If you go inside with your helmet on, like a doofus, and someone's whispering at typical indoor voices, it doesn't pick it up too well, but everyone waves when I have my GoPro on. But it is a nice feature, and I'm sure it'll improve with time. What else do they advertise? The dual channel Bluetooth is pretty cool because, oh dear, come on. Because you can have your music playing and intercom. Whereas older units, you'd either have one or the other, which I like to listen to music and ride, and I like to talk to people. So here, if someone's talking, it kind of cuts your music and you can hear them talking, and then your music comes back right where it was. It doesn't stop the song, so the song's still playing. But it's a nice feature when you're riding with other people to be able to listen to your music without having a separate device in your ears. Overall, the price tag's pretty steep. Oh, before I talk price, the battery life is phenomenal. I had the device and I used it riding to work for, I want to say, 2 weeks, and it still had 50% battery. And my ride to work is only 5 miles, but still, it was on standby the entire, standby. They claim 14 hours or something, but I guess if you turn it off, it just lasts forever. And then riding wise, obviously that isn't an issue. So you could ride as long as your butt will allow and pull off in a motel and you'll be fine. I don't see that being an issue. So price point, is it worth it? It's still a little steep. Some of the construction is a little, like the clip mechanism isn't the best. It's a little plasticky. I wish there was a little more metal or something involved because you you are paying a premium for this device, but all in all, it's a fun toy, and I'm happy that my buddy recommended it. I don't know what this is. Jeez. Alright, I'm gonna go get gas. The nice weather brings out all the crazies. And I apologize, it's been so long since I've done a video. Just one of those things. Oh, and Sena offers a GoPro Bluetooth audio device, so I don't have to have... Oh, the light's green! So you don't have to have... Yeah, this isn't gonna work. So you don't have to have a separate microphone. But it's $100 plus, and I don't know, I find my $15 Amazon special external microphone to do the job just fine. Maybe if I get super serious about recording, I'd consider it, but until that day, I'm going to stick with my external mic. I got the front tire up. I don't know why I'm impressed every time I do that, but... Oh! This wasn't in my teaser comment, but I had the rectifier switch issue with R6s. One of my plugs was corroded to all get out, and I went to the hardware store and I made a better plug. But my bike was running like crap, and it got to the point where it actually, all the electronics died, it went into limp mode, and I had to bump start it off the light. So if you know your rectifier switch is going, just don't ride your bike. Just don't do it. I didn't know what it was, but I knew something was amiss. I changed the battery. I checked all my connections. Okay, yeah, I've gotten like 4 text messages. I should probably check my phone. We're going on a group ride. Well, a group ride meaning 2 people, so a duo ride. But yeah, I'll touch on that in a little bit after I get gas. Alright, YouTube. I filled up and I'm waiting for my buddy. He rides an FC6 that is beautiful, as I said. Maybe I said. He goes by Fazer07. I'll probably just call him Fazer because I'm not good with numbers. I say that and I'm an engineer. We're gonna go for a little ride. I don't know how much of it I'm actually gonna keep because a lot of it'll just be our intercom back and forth. But if there's something interesting, I'll be sure to patch it in. And yeah, it's a beautiful day to be riding. Stay safe out there. All right, lead the way, boss.
Okay, you know your way around Goshen at all?
Not the best.
Okay. It's just right when you get into a Goshen where it's called VS Gun. But we can ride around Goshen too afterwards.
Okay. So what's second Saturday? Really? All I have to say is ouch coming up on your left. That's nice. Smelled like clean laundry back there. Is it alive? Dogs don't like bikes. Oh boy. It looks tired. What are you doing, buddy? No luck? Yeah, that's usually not a good thing. You looked really... She had the look on her face that she wasn't going to stop. She was like, oh no. Oh, this is going to sound nice. Well, that was fun, YouTube. It is a beautiful day today. So I figured I'd do part 2 of 2. Oh, here they come again. Right. Anyways, part 2 of 2. Since I haven't done a movie in a long time, or yeah, a video in a long time, I figured I'd throw in a couple more topics. It's kind of really windy today, but it's beautiful, so we're not going to complain. Let's see what this Mazda does. Mazda's been driving like a bat out of hell. Oh, there goes again. Wow. The Mazda was trying to get over and did not use the turn signal. Alright, well it seems we have some time while we're stuck behind this car to cover... Ah, there we go. To cover another topic. My bike is loud. One thing I did notice about the Sena 20S is that when you're adjusting the volume, you don't have an option to take the volume all the way down to none, to 0, nada. It'll get it really quiet, but that's it. You'll still have music playing no matter what. If you don't want music playing, you have to say cancel or cancel it. I guess it'd be nice if the dial wheel or jog wheel went all the way down to 0. In case you just want to turn the music off for real quick and then turn it back on. But what I did notice yesterday was how easy it was to get the intercom feature to work. Because when Fazer07 and I pulled up next to each other, I just said intercom in the voice commands and it connected. And then he just had to say intercom. And we were good to go. Whereas with older systems, you gotta play around with pairing them and making sure they're set up. And I had my radio playing. He pulled up, hit the voice command button, said intercom. It said intercom connected, and then my music started playing and I started talking to him. That's how easy it was. And stuff like that before would be like, okay, can you hear me now? No. Okay, we gotta repair them. Can you hear me now? No. 5 minutes later, you got your intercom paired. So that I give it a 10 out of 10. That was awesome. I just wish that you could take the volume all the way down to nothing, but that's me being nitpicky. I need coffee. Coffee, coffee, coffee. Here's one. And I don't remember if I've covered it or not. Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts? We have a handful of Starbucks, but the nearest Dunkin' Donuts is, I want to say like 25 miles away, 20 miles away. So I get on my motorcycle and ride to get my coffee because I like it better than Starbucks. It doesn't help that the local Starbucks are inside of grocery stores and their staff consists of grocery store employees, so you don't have the usual professionals, so you're waiting in line, and I know it's like first world problems. Oh, it takes you 20 minutes to get your coffee. But if I'm paying $5, actually I'm usually paying like $3 because I just get black coffee. If I'm paying a premium for a cup of coffee, I want that cup of coffee to be right the first time. And it's hard to screw up iced black coffee. Alright, so see that sign? I don't know if you see that sign, but that sign says 60 miles an hour. And we're gonna see how quickly we can get to 60 miles an hour. You ready for this, YouTube? I call this the 60 mile per hour challenge. There's 60. And that was half throttle. Launching full throttle scares me. Launching full throttle is how you 6 o'clock the bike. But I digress. So YouTube, which one do you like better? Starbucks, Dunkin' Donuts, or coffee shop that I'm not listing right now? Because I know there's a bunch. There's like Big B Coffee, there's Caribou Coffee, there's probably a ton of regional coffee shops. But yeah, leave it in the comments below. And if you don't, well, that's okay too. Maybe you don't drink coffee.